everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. Well, it is time for another random vlog week, or just a random vlog day, whatever you want to call it. Technically, Sunday was essentially a random vlog day. However, though, it wasn't my normal random vlog at home vlog. Um, I, made sense in my head, but it didn't make sense when I said it out loud. Yeah, I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say. But anyway, I've been, thinking about the fact that TJ's birthday is in less than a month. And normally I would, be going down to Central Florida to go and celebrate his birthday. But this year, I cannot. Now, before I go any further and talk about it, first I just wanted to officially introduce myself aside from the fact that I'm the theme park evangelist. So I officially started my YouTube channel back in Central Florida at Universal Orlando. Actually in City Walk. TJ was the reason why the YouTube channel got started in the first place. He was actually right there by my side when I made my very first vlog ever. It's actually the vlog you actually will see the first 15 seconds. Only 15 seconds though, because it's kind of boring, but I always will keep doing that year after year after year in my introduction vlogs just to commemorate my very first vlog ever, even though it was a lousy 3 minutes long, because I didn't know anything about vlogging back then. It still is, a good momentum to remember by. So hopefully that makes any sense. And, I was, I basically started out there, and I started vlogging in Central Florida all the way from late 2016 all the way through mid 2019, and then about 2017, early 2017, actually no, it was August 2017. Excuse me. That's when God called me to move up to Kentucky and work for Answers in Genesis. Granted, I don't work for them anymore, but I do volunteer for them, and I'm working next door as of right now next to them. So I am still affiliated with Answers in Genesis, and I have been for over 4 years now. Actually, almost 4 years. March 22nd will be officially 4 years that I've been partnered up with them. So, yeah, exciting times, but yeah, that was the whole reason why I came up here in the first place, was to work alongside of them. And sure, I've seen them make some decisions over the past 4 years that I don't always like, but at the same time, I've seen them make a lot of positive changes, but we're not here to discuss that. But all these years, I've managed to stay friends with TJ. Now, TJ's birthday, I'm sure he would want me to say this out loud, because I hate to say this, he's a little full of himself, and that's the polite way to put it. He has his birthday on February 28th. Now, last year, I did make the effort to go all the way down there, because I knew his 30th birthday was going to mean the world to him. And I figured the year before the wedding, I kind of saw it as like a bachelor trip, and I figured Katie could use some alone time with her parents. I knew Katie wasn't going to be on board about it, but I also was like, Katie, this might be our last chance to, go on solo trips. And after that, there's going to be no mo of that. No mo. And that was essentially what I was trying to get across with her. And, at first she was like, but now she gets it. So this year, all of my trips are going to be with Katie. Every single one. So, yeah, that's just part of marriage. Sometimes she might need to make trips by herself, but it's going to be like quick trips, not like road trips or anything. From this point forward, I'm not intentionally going anywhere without her. If it's, an emergency, then, it's a different story. I mean, when I start working for Publix, Lord willing, here soon, there's talking about send me on a business trip to another Publix and doing some training and putting me in a hotel and all that. And I'm going to get asked for permission when I do find out all this, if I can take Katie with me, and she kind of does her own thing while I'm off doing work related stuff. Because there's no reason for her to stay here when she could go with me. I mean, I don't know if it'll work out now that she's got this new full time job, but that's something we can talk about. Sorry, shiver. We can talk about, in the future. But that was something she had mentioned to me, that she really wants to go with me on this trip. So yeah, man, I just cannot do a stinking thing with these bangs. I feel like they're in the way or whatever. Now I feel like I'm making them worse. Okay, that's a little bit better. And you know, TJ is very hurt right now because of the fact that I'm not going to be down there. Because I'll tell you guys right now, TJ's birthday is his favorite holiday aside for Christmas. Like, if I were to tell you guys TJ's favorite holidays in the world, and once again, just to remind everybody, TJ is the guy who helped me start this YouTube channel in the first place. And he has way worse autism than even Katie and I combined together. So, TJ's favorite birthdays in the world are number 1, Christmas, and number 2, his birthday. Straight up. Don't get me wrong. He likes Thanksgiving too. And he likes Easter. But those are his 2 absolute favorite holidays in the entire world. It's just like, okay then. Right. And I just kind of roll with it. But for the past 4 years in a row, I have literally gone down to Florida and celebrated his birthday. And I've even celebrated his birthday every single year since 2016 before that. So technically, I celebrated his birthday 8 years in a row. I mean, there was one year I didn't do it because of the fact that we had a bit of a fallout, and that was 2023. But that was the only time. But I mean, out of the 7 years, he's been very fortunate to always have me, right there to celebrate his birthday and make a big deal about it. And it's like, come on, dude. So, without further ado, let's, go ahead and go into the official reasons why I'm not able to come down in February this time. Well, number 1, if you do not know this by now, then, I completely understand. If you've been living under a rock, then, you need to come out of the rock by now. So Katie and I have been engaged for over a year. August will be almost 2 years. And actually, speaking of August, Katie and I both have mutually agreed that's when we're going to get married. So I originally came up with the idea of late August in memory of her mother, because her mother's birthday is on August 31st, which is ironically the day I went and saw David Crowder in concert last year, and the same exact day that I left the airport. So, I mean, it's kind of weird like that, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is her mother's birthday, and we thought it would be, really special to celebrate her mother's birthday and have the wedding at the same exact time. Well, let's just say my parents did not have the same feeling. And why is that? Because my parents are old school. My parents are basically like, Your mother's a teacher. It's like, yes, teachers do have the ability to take time off, but bringing it back to the whole old school thing, when you're old school, you tend to think that somebody young like me should have to make changes for the older person, not the other way around. That's just the way old school people are. They don't necessarily like to make changes to their routine. There's nothing bad about it. That's just the way they are. And that's one of the reasons why the wedding date got changed to early August. And then something else that my dad made a point about, and this is where I did 100% agree with him, was the fact that my mom's side of the family necessarily cannot come in late August because, I mean, yes, they probably might have been able to, because that's technically Labor Day weekend for them, and that's like their final weekend. But at the same time, it is still a little tough because that's like their last big hurrah before, um, they go back to school, before they go back to doing whatever, before the official end of summer. A lot of Canadians also travel to go and close up their cottages, and which is basically essentially a summer home. And they also like to go enjoy their cottages before they even close it up one last time, like my friend Lynn does, and I'm not talking about my mother here. One before they don't return back until the following Memorial Day weekend. I think actually Victoria Day weekend because they don't celebrate Memorial Day weekend. I take that back, which is about a weekend or two before Memorial. So yeah, the wedding had gotten changed to early August, and Katie and I have been talking about when we're going to do a honeymoon, and both Katie and I mutually agreed on right after Labor Day weekend because Disney can get a little crazy during Labor Day weekend, but the day after Labor Day weekend, it just dies off. And I've done it so many times. I've gone to like the Magic Kingdom, for example, and it's just been so dead. Like nobody is around. Why is that? Because everybody's gone back to work, gone back to school, you name it. There's nobody really on vacation anymore. There's no reason for it. All the snowbirds like myself have all gone back home because they can't be on vacation. You'll still get people that are taking time off for vacation, but not in like huge spurts. And at this point, the temperature is starting to cool off down in Florida. I mean, a little. Like, there's a slight hinge of coolness in the air, but it's still very hot. It's still raining a lot, and it's still humid. But I mean, sometimes you might be fortunate, and the temperature might actually be cool outside, which is weird. But so yeah, the honeymoon is obviously the number one reason why we made the decision to come in September. Secondly, truthfully, I love TJ to death, but let's face it, I've been coming for his birthday, like I said, for the past almost 4 years. I should say I came in 2020, I came in 2021. Actually, no, I take that back. 2021. Actually, no, I did come. I forgot. I did come celebrate TJ's birthday in 2021. That's right. And then I came back in 2022. The only year I did not come was 2023. And then I came back again last year in 2024. So out of the 4 years, I've been coming down to Florida. 3 of those years, I flew down there or drove down there. Mostly flew. By myself. 2021 I drove, by the way. And I spent an entire week with him celebrating just TJ and his birthday. And I mean, the last time I honestly went down to Florida and enjoyed the fall was 2022. That was almost 3 years ago. So I figured, it's time for a change. And that's also why I'm coming in September instead of February. Another reason why I'm not coming in February like I normally would, even though TJ is probably ready to beat the snot out of me right now because he's not getting his way, big baby, is the fact that April, Katie and I have to make a mandatory trip to North Carolina, but I can't guarantee that whether it's the hotel or whether it's Publix is going to even give me the time off in the first place. Because of the fact that April's usually a pretty busy month around here. I remember at the Creation Museum, it was hectic. I remember at the airport, it was hectic. I was working at the airport last April. It was pretty crazy. It wasn't crazy like the summer, but it was still crazy. And, I just cannot promise Katie that I'm 100% for sure going to get the time off. But I know she's like demanding, I hate to say it, she's a demanding little thing. But yeah, she's demanding that I'm looking at her picture and it's like, yeah, I'm talking about you. But yeah, I know for sure that she really wants this trip to happen because apparently her pastor, or her parents' pastor, really, back in Eastern North Carolina, really wants to meet with Katie and I regarding the upcoming wedding. And he wants to do this in person 4 months in advance. And I'm just like, whew. Just like, oh man. It's like, it's getting down to the wire. And I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, if TJ had it his way, he would probably wish I would stay single for the rest of my life and I just keep coming down to Florida. And actually, scratch that. TJ wishes I would move back to Florida at this point, and then he could just have me all to himself 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That would be TJ's biggest desire right now, especially during his birthday week. And TJ don't know how to share, especially me, which is very frustrating. And then the funny thing is, even when I am down there, Kay ends up, being over like almost every day. And then she ends up sitting in the front seat whenever I'm there, even though Kay has told me before, I don't mind you sitting up front, David. And then TJ doesn't do it. I don't want to say the word, but a thing about, the fact that Kay offered to let me sit up front, and TJ basically goes, Kay, you can sit up front, I don't mind. Or he'll say, Kay, you're sitting up front, David's in the back seat. It's like TJ thinks that I'm his puppet. He can just toss around just because he is so used to getting his way. And he thinks all he has to do is snap his finger and, David obeys as every whim. And I'm not going to let that happen anymore. And I'm going to prove to TJ, starting this year, that, this wedding thing is more serious than he thinks it is. He thinks right now it's still a big joke. He still thinks I'm going to get down on my knees and beg for him to take me back. Because that's what he wants to hear. So, yes, you can say a lot of me coming down in September is not just about the honeymoon. A lot of this is to teach TJ a lesson that it's not all about him anymore. The play and fairy tale is over. Period. End of discussion. TJ, gotta grow up. I know you are turning 31, but mentally, you ain't there. And I see that. But anyway, aside from all of that, I did want to share a lot of pros about the fact that, about me coming in September versus coming in February. So, for those of you who have been watching my Central Florida vlogs over the past few years, I've been pretty much doing a lot of the same vlogs over and over again every single year. Strawberry Festival, Flower and Garden Festival, Food and Wine Festival at SeaWorld, aka the Seven Seas Food and Wine Festival, construction updates going on at all the parks, even at Universal, like Epic Universe is still being constructed right now, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the past few years. But this year, we're going to change things around. So, starting with September, I'm only going to mention the things that just talking about this trip in September. I'm going to talk to you guys about all the different vlogs I'm going to be doing this year versus in the years past. Like, other than 2022, that's a different story. So first of all, Food and Wine Festival vlog is back as of September. That's a promise. Also, for the first time in about 7 years, and I don't want TJ to think that just because I'm coming down in September doesn't mean that he can't see me. That is a lie. And that's not what I was trying to get to. What I was trying to say earlier is, me coming in February and making TJ the center of attention's got to stop. Once in a while it's different, but it's been every single year for a week straight, and I've had absolutely nobody there physically to stand up for me. I've allowed TJ to control my life every single year that I've come down, spend my money how he wants to, and when my dad gets involved, all he does is get furious. So it's like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. Maybe in the near future, like, I don't know, maybe sometime I'll come back, but I ain't coming alone anymore. I can assure you guys that, unless it's an emergency. And hopefully Katie can get the time off. But anyway, so another thing, Epic Universe will be open as of May 22nd. Like, how cool is that, right? And with that being said, I will actually be able to see Epic Universe when I go in September. Now, I can't promise you guys I'm going to be able to vlog in Epic Universe. I am currently in contact with my cousin Ryan, and that's as far as I can go with that. I'm waiting to hear back regarding blackout dates for September for Epic Universe. Volcano Bay would be nice to take Katie to see, but what we really want to do is go see Epic Universe. Also, but yeah, I was trying to mention earlier, the one thing I haven't done with TJ in about 7 years is we haven't done a single playing around in Spear Halloween vlog since like 2018. That's crazy. So I decided to bring it back this year. Like, yeah. And the last time I showed you guys the fall decorations at the Magic Kingdom was also in 2018. It's been 7 years. So we're bringing it back. Oh, yeah. Cannot wait for that. And just, trying to think here, but yeah, those are just some of the vlogs that I do have planned for you guys that I haven't shown on this channel in a very long time. Now, we are going to be doing some new vlogs too this year as well, Katie and I. So, for starters, you guys saw Ohana for dinner back in 2023 in July. If you guys do remember that vlog, if you're new, you should go back and watch it because it's cool. But I decided we're going to try something new this year, and we're going to go back and try other breakfasts this time. And this time, like I did last time, I'm going to vlog it again. I vlogged the dinner, now I want to vlog the breakfast. It's only fair. And then, let's see here. I really want Katie and I to at least stay 1 or 2 nights on Disney property. We're still very indecisive. We talked about Animal Kingdom Lodge. I had done a poll a long time ago on it, but we decided it's just out of our budget right now because we hit a really bad slump there for a long time. And I hate to say this, since I love the airport, I've lost a couple $1,000. And it's literally taking DoorDash just to keep me alive right now financially. So, really praying and hoping that God will help me bounce back quickly with Publix, but I'm still short a couple $1,000s because of the fact that I just had so many expenses and I was just not able to keep up with everything. And then on top of that, I'm very, very behind in debt. And then I'm just going to, and that's just a generalizing, and I'm not going any further than that. So, yeah, I'm just really praying hard that God will provide right now. That's all I can do. But, yeah, I am very happy that we're still going to stay on Disney property. We're not 100% sure what we're going to be doing lodging wise. Otherwise, we're still talking about staying in a Hilton. Even if I do end up leaving the hotel, I mean, it's just one of those things. We'll figure things out. You know, God will open doors and close doors as needed over time. I'm not too worried about lodging. That's like the least of my concerns. But God will provide. That's something I have to constantly tell myself. God will provide. God will provide. God will provide. And He always does. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. I got that quote from God's Not Dead, the movie. And truthfully, God is not dead. He is surely alive. So, don't let no atheist tell you otherwise. And do you want to shoot me for my beliefs? Go ahead and do it, because I already know where I'm going. Not trying to brag or anything, but in a sense I am, but in a sense I'm not. Like, and in a sense I'm bragging because I genuinely am very strong in my faith, and I'll do whatever it takes to stand up for my Creator. But I'm also trying not to brag because God does not like Pharisees, basically boasters. Because at the same time, my goal on earth until God takes me home is to preach the gospel, and that's exactly what I've been using YouTube for, aside from entertaining you guys, obviously. So, getting near the 30-minute mark, I do sincerely apologize if you did hang in there with me so this long, just about the whole TJ thing. I really want everybody to understand, especially those of you who do not know me whatsoever, that, you know, I have been having issues in the past with this guy, as I made it very clear, but you know what? At the end of the day, I do want to spend time with him. Lord willing, he'll be willing to get us into SeaWorld. I'm not going to force him to. I'm not even going to ask him to. I'm not even going to beg him to. I could tell I hurt a nerve because when I showed him that I wasn't going to come, he pretty much ignored me for the rest of the night because he doesn't want to be reminded. But at the same time, he does know at least I'm coming in September. He does know I want to spend time with him. And I did actually mention to him that I came up with the idea of me, him, and Katie, obviously, all having like a whole day together. And I figured, why not go to Manny's in Lake Wales this time for dinner? I mean, it's not like I'm gonna vlog it or anything, because you guys have already seen it. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it. It's in my Central Florida vlogs. Actually, that's one of the reasons why TJ actually likes me to come down to Florida for his birthday. So, if you're new to my channel, there's a restaurant. I was just talking about it. And there's a few of them in Polk County, Florida. There's one in Lake Wales, Winter Haven, Haines City, and possibly Lakeland. So 4 altogether. I think at one point in time there was one in Kissimmee, which is outside of Polk County. But anyway, they are really well known for their steak and ribs. They're basically a roadhouse, and on your birthday, they bring you this massive dessert sundae. Now, instead of me trying to picture it for you guys, go back and check celebrating TJ's birthday at Manny's and my Central Florida Vlogs playlist, and you'll go see it for yourself. But I mean, I can understand. I mean, TJ has always had a love-hate relationship with chocolate. Like, he's always said, "Oh, I hate chocolate." Then I'll say, "Oh, I love chocolate," and then it's just like he can't make up his mind. But like, he really likes that dessert, and usually me, him, and Kay will all share that dessert. And I'll tell you guys right now, I've never eaten more sweets in my life than TJ's birthday week, because it's not just about me. I mean, all about how many sweets can TJ eat. Somehow I get just as many sweets as he does, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Last year we got a Stitch themed birthday cake for him, and it's kind of neat because we all got to sing happy birthday like we always do, and uh, me and TJ have naturally got to keep the leftovers because TJ is not going to let anybody else have any leftovers. He'll let you have one or two slices the day he cuts the cake, but that's about it. But me, because I was always his guest, he would let me have as much as I wanted, which I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you guys decide on that one. But yeah, I'm really hoping by coming in September, I will not be eating as many sweets as I normally would. Um, I did mention a suggestion to Katie. I had asked her, with us coming in the fall, would you be interested in doing Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? And she said no. But she did seem interested in doing Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in the future, which basically gave me one last uh, announcement for you guys. So, in the Lord willing near future, I'm going to be taking Katie down to Central Florida to celebrate Christmas instead of doing it in Kentucky or in North Carolina or even in Canada. I figured that Katie should have the right to go and celebrate Christmas at the Florida theme parks and Disney Springs. So we're not sure, but it will be sometime in the next 5 years that we will be going down to Florida and celebrating Christmas at Disney World and Universal. So be on the lookout for that over the next 4 years, technically starting next year. We are talking about celebrating Christmas next year with her parents in North Carolina. This year is going to be in Pigeon Forge with both her parents and my parents. So we talked about possibly 2027 celebrating Christmas in Central Florida. That would be cool. I mean, something we thought would be, really special, not just to us, but to everybody else, is we try to do Thanksgiving with one side of the family and then Christmas with the other side. So, like, this year for Thanksgiving, we're going to be having Thanksgiving here in Kentucky because we haven't done that since we became a couple. And then next year, because I've always wanted to do this, is I've always wanted to go down to North Carolina and celebrate Thanksgiving. Actually, Katie has even possibly, yeah, it is. Yeah, that is next year. I forgot. So, I was right. So next year, Katie is talking about celebrating both Thanksgiving and Christmas. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this. In North Carolina, there is a possibility the Christmas thing may not happen, but we're at least going to do Thanksgiving for sure in North Carolina. That is something that Katie's been really wanting to do, is celebrate Thanksgiving with me. And I'm not just saying in North Carolina, I'm saying in the Outer Banks. Like, how cool is that, right? On the beach, staying at a beach house, we would be sharing a bed and a room together, like finally. So, I mean, it's kind of about time, do it around Thanksgiving time. And then I guess we would come back to Kentucky and celebrate Christmas with my parents and my brother again. So, I mean, that's only fair. Because, like I was saying earlier, guys celebrate one major holiday with one side of the family, the other with the other major, the other side of the family. And I mean, as I said to Katie, there might be times when we can't do that, and we might just have to just celebrate Easter at least with my parents. I mean, the once we moved to North Carolina, which is one of the biggest announcements that I've very seldomly made over the past, I don't know, year, is the fact that we're gonna have to basically pick one holiday, one major holiday in the year, and travel to Kentucky and celebrate that holiday with my parents and my brother. And that will pretty much be it. Everything else will either A, be with her parents, or be just the two of us until Katie and I adopt kids. So, I mean, we have a whole lifetime ahead of us, and we still have a God that will guide our every step of the way. Well, I think I've honestly talked your ears off enough, guys. If you even stayed around an extra 6 minutes just to hear those last big announcements. But hey, this is a perfect time of the year for me to talk about those things because let's face it, once spring hits here in the north, it gets a little crazy around here because everything's open and then my hours just go whoop. So, I mean, that's just normal. And then I won't have a chance to really slow down and go until next winter. So, always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day, and peace out.